I'm a bad motherfucker.
Evening, sports fans, or good afternoon or good morning, depending on what part of the world you are in. Misha is not in the office today, so get ready for a bumpy ride. Who was that? Betty Davis, Keaton, right? That was Betty Davis.
Yeah, this is the Boeing 737 of shows.
That's right. That's right. The door panel almost flew off, but we had a couple of extra bolts and some chewing gum. So here we go. We're going to start off. We are going to have the great Professor Norman Finkelstein joining us. So we figured we'd start off light before we board the hell gondola. So Fani Willis, that illustrious district attorney down in Georgia. Wow, man, she came into office with such promise. Here she is, being asked when she was a candidate why the people of Fulton County should choose her. And she said because the sitting DA is corrupt, the people deserve someone who won't have sex with their employees or put money in their own pocket. So let's see what she had to say back then.
The district attorney's office in Fulton should be the beacon of the Southeast. It should be the absolute best office between Washington, D.C. and Miami. And right now, what you have is a office of dysfunction and corruption, and we deserve better. And I am the right choice to improve it.
Corruption, Ms. Willis, that's a strong word to level against the office that Paul Howard has run for nearly a quarter century. If he gets reelected, it'll be more than 25 years.
You have a DA sitting there that doesn't have the qualifications and the experience to do the job. What I can guarantee you is with my reputation, with my community ties, I am going to be able to attract the best and the brightest minds to that office. You're sitting with someone today that actually wants to make a difference because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees, because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children, because we deserve better.
All right. So look, I'm gonna give her benefit of the doubt that she meant it. But as Henry Kissinger said, power is the ultimate aphrodisiac. So once she got into office, it looks like she got horny. So Trump prosecutor Fani Willis fired a worker who exposed alleged $500,000 federal grant abuse. This is after she's already been caught up in a scandal having sex with an employee. Fulton County DA Fani Willis, who is under investigation for allegedly spending taxpayer funds on lavish trips with an attorney she hired while the two were having an affair, is being called out by a former employee for apparently abusing another federal grant. Willis, who is prosecuting Donald Trump for allegedly trying to illegally overturn Georgia's 2020 election results, was confronted by staffer Amanda Timpson in a November 19, 2021 meeting after the DA's former campaign social media manager, Michael Cuffey, planned to use part of a nearly $500,000 grant for travel, computers, and swag, according to audio obtained by the Washington Free Beacon. On January 14, 2022, Willis fired Timpson, who oversaw the office's juvenile diversion program, and had her escorted out of the building with 7 armed investigators, the ex-employee told the Free Beacon. In an interview with the outlet, Timpson said the purported abuse of the grant was very similar to Willis's office splurging on lavish vacations with private attorney Nathan Wade, with whom she was allegedly carrying on a clandestine affair. So she really cleaned up that office with her butt on the desk, it sounds like. So the Beacon has obtained audio of a whistleblower privately warning her. Willis has not disputed the allegations yet. And 56 days after telling her what was going on, Willis fired her. All right, so let's hear this.
If you had to give me a sentence, what is the sentence theme?
Once I told him about his, respectfully and in an email, about his lack of leadership and the fact that he wanted to do things with grants that were impossible. And I kept telling him, like, we can't do that and questioning stuff. He would take me off projects, tell people I wasn't doing what I was supposed to because I questioned him. Because I understood, I helped write that grant. I knew what was in that grant. He told everybody in front of Crystal, Deontay, everybody, we're going to get MacBooks, we're going to do that, we're going to get swag, we're going to use it for travel. I said, you cannot do that. It's a very, very specific grant. Took me off. I questioned Junior DA. There's kids in there from out of the county, all this. Took me off Junior DA. I did not want to do it. He made it look as if I wasn't doing what I needed to do because I questioned him. Because I knew for a fact Mr. Cuffey respectfully did not know what he was doing. Period.
So I respect that is your assessment. It was clear to me that you and Mr. Cuffey were not getting along. And I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. I want you to really listen to the words I'm saying.
Cuffey, and this is my personal opinion, to one woman to another, is dangerous to your administration. He tells people, when I reached out to you, he told me, you think your word is safe? Exactly when you reached out to Miss Willis, she called me and told me, she tell me everything. So once you reach out to her, she's going to reach back out to me. So I didn't even go to HR because he put Dexter's name on my PDP and I didn't even feel safe going to anybody.
Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I had 3 supervisors that had failed in this building. What's interesting to me, because I'm in a learning curve too, they each pretend to have a relationship with me that they do not have. I guess that's an intimidation tactic. I'm sorry that you felt that way, but Dexter certainly don't have no relationship with Michael Cuffey. You were safe to go those places.
Okay, so she was safe until 56 days later. She got walked out by 7 security guards. So Matt Getz is weighing in. I'm calling on the House Judiciary Committee to immediately hold hearings on the misuse of federal grants by Fani Willis. The whistleblower in her office should be allowed to tell her story to the United States Congress, and Fani Willis should have to answer for any misuse of federal grants for personal lavish experiences. The Judiciary GOP would be derelict in not bringing Fani Willis before us for a hearing following the release of this explosive whistleblower transcript and audio. Let's get to the bottom of this. Okay, so file this under Donald Trump is very lucky in his enemies. There's a good deal of evidence that the special prosecutor she hired, who was paid over $600,000, was using some of that money to go on lavish trips with Miss Willis, and presumably they were having an affair. One of the people that she's indicted under the RICO statute, there have been 18 people in Georgia that she's trying for election interference in regards to the 2020 campaign. One of them is suing, and her and her alleged lover both going to have to appear before a judge February 15th. So far, they have not said yes or no about the allegations. And now you have this, which, of course, I mean, this is very typical Donald Trump. As they say, the devil has the devil's luck. And whatever you think of Donald Trump, from Hillary Clinton to Fani Willis, he is very lucky in the people who have come to take him on. Keaton?
Yeah, no, he is like the Roadrunner. And everybody on his trail just, they got the TNT ready, the dynamite, and he's got them, boop, and then the wire is up their ass and it blows them up. Yeah, no, absolutely. Devil has the devil's luck. And, when I was in New Hampshire in the run up to the primary, I talked to a ton of Trumpers on the line, or Trump supporters. I don't know. Is Trumpers a slur? I don't know. Trump supporters. MAGA affiliated individuals, I'll call them. They
Trump identified.
Trumper identifying individuals. They have full confidence that they're not going to touch him, that he is going to, skate by all these cases. I said, are you worried they're going to throw him in jail? Now, some of these guys are a little paranoid. They think anybody who has a camera is the media, right? The fake news. Yeah, right. I'm not the fake news. I'm just a freelancer doing this thing for a YouTube channel. But a lot of them got pretty hostile. They said, what do you mean? Go to jail? Why? I said, relax. I'm not saying he should go to jail. I'm saying, do you think they're going to try and throw him in jail? Because obviously the deep state has it in for him. They have full confidence. They're not worried about this at all because Trump projects that exact same confidence. And this is why. This is why, he has to commit a crime in the jurisdiction of like some small town, where everybody is clean as a whistle, right? Because you think about New York, Atlanta, DC, these are all crooked towns, right?
Right.
He has to do something, on a country road somewhere.
Yeah.
If they want to catch him.
You know what he has to do? He has to flick a cigarette out the window. Yeah, he has to flick a cigarette out the window during wildfire season.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
On a state road in Montana where everything's on the up and up, good, simple, salt of the earth people. Because DC, New York, Atlanta, there's going to be shit on all these people.
You know what it reminds me of when they made the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. What was that? Hannibal, I think.
Yeah, Hannibal. Yeah,
and a lot of critics observed that because the character of Lecter was so popular, they had to recruit Gary Oldman to play a more loathsome person to make him look good by comparison. Right. That to me is Donald Trump's political career. He's constantly playing off Gary Oldman in Hannibal, and he always looks good by comparison.
Yep. Nicer hair, too.
Nice. All right. Chris, to a card.
There are many Christians in the Roman Church. There's no question about that. There are many good Christians in the Roman Church, but there is nothing fundamentally Christian about the Roman Church. Now, the Roman Church set about destroying the ancient wisdom, making sure that it could not be accessed. From the time that the Library of Alexandria was destroyed, we lost the ability to read the hieroglyphs. And that's something that we didn't recover until the 19th century. But the wisdom was retained. And because of the oppression of the Roman Church, it had to be retained in secret. And the Knights Templar, some say they were founded a little bit earlier, but fundamentally the Knights Templar was just a group of 9. Don't be fooled by the myths about them being the protectors of the pilgrims. That was the Knights Hospitalier. But the Knights Templar were after something. And what was it? Yeah, Graham Hancock is here tomorrow, and he may touch on his research because maybe they were looking for the Ark of the Covenant. Sacred geometry, and we see here in London evidence of sacred geometry in the London architecture. This is the pyramid on top of the pillar, and the pillars are representing the 2 pillars at the front of the Temple of Solomon, Boaz and Jachin. And this was believed, ancient wisdom, to bring energy into the earth. And one of the reasons that Tony Blair was so adamant that the dome was going to be built was to obtain the symmetry here between the male and the female. Here's the female, here's the male, the pillar, and Boaz and Jachin. The desire to bring energy into the city of London and abuse it.
So, Project Veritas, James O'Keefe posts, which looks like, I think on Instagram, a perfect replica of the Ark of the Covenant, 2,700 hours of labor, 6 pounds of gold at Mar-a-Lago, Trump's estate. And Donnie Darkins here, he says, a few months ago, a report came out that Donald Trump has the possession of ancient Israeli artifacts in his home that they've been trying to get back. He speculated that one of them was the Ark of the Covenant. What if? Well, the rabbis actually believe that the Ark of the Covenant is buried under somewhere near the Temple Mount. But he's right about the article. 6 months ago, this is The Guardian, treasures lent by Israel for White House event, quote, stranded at Mar-a-Lago. Antiquities from Israel's National Treasures collection. Of course, they're at Mar-a-Lago because Trump is so kosher. Antiquities from Israel's National Treasures collection have ended up at Trump's Florida estate, says reports, but apparently this wasn't the real Ark of the Covenant from Israel. It's a replica. made by a supporter. Laura Loomer photoed here. Laura Loomer's Trump's like #1 girl, probably his new mistress, #1 cheerleader of Trump. No, he didn't. The Ark was made by a supporter. It was unveiled at a private dinner at Mar-a-Lago with about 20 people. She knows because she was one of those people who was invited and in attendance at the dinner, which was very focused on the topics of spiritual warfare against the nations and Judaism. Spiritual warfare with Trump, their messianic figure, to destroy America under the guise of making America great again. So Laura Loomer hanging out at the exclusive, private Ark of the Covenant Jewish spiritual warfare meetings. Oh yeah, Trump's going to make America great again. He's going to take out the deep state, I'm sure. He's going to be more Zionist than ever with Kushner back in there. Look at that big old gold, 6 pounds of the Ark of the Covenant. Laura Loomer and James O'Keefe at this private event.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit